Hello and welcome to another episode of the Same Old Arsenal. We're doing another Potts preview this evening. I'm your host, Dan Potts, and I'm joined by a couple of Arsenal fans this evening and also a Leeds United fan for the upcoming fixture tomorrow night. The FA Cup is back. Joining me this evening is my colleague from the Same Old Arsenal yet again, Mr. Lee Judges. Lee, how are you, mate?
I'm all good, thank you very much, Dan. All good after that win against Man United. Buzzing since then.
Mate, I'm exactly the same. I was so happy, absolutely so happy. We've got a shout. We got a shout out there as well. We'll introduce him in a minute. Also joining me, he's back. It is old man Trev. Trev, how are you, mate?
Hello, boys. I'm really well, thank you. I'm like Lee. I'm still right up there from that Man United performance. It was building from Everton, then Bournemouth, then Chelsea, then Man United. Or whatever way around it was, and then whammo, Man United got it, didn't they? Both barrels. So I'm buzzing. Absolutely
it was
buzzing. Good
absolutely
evening,
brilliant. Mate, thanks for joining us, Trev. Top man. And of course, we have got an opposition fan on because we're playing Leeds. We have got a Leeds United fan. He shares his name with a Geordie comedian. It is Mr. Chris Ramsey. Chris, how are you, mate?
How are you doing? All right.
And you're also with your boy as well, is that right?
Yeah, Sam with me. Yeah.
Sam, welcome.
And a few stats.
There we go. A few stats, absolutely. Boys, we'll bring you all back in because we've got a lot to get through and a lot to talk about. Trev, we're going to start with you first, mate, because you got yourself back to the Emirates, mate. You are back in England. You're from Cos, mate. You were buzzing, weren't you?
Yeah, of course I'm buzzing. How long have we been waiting for these performances, you know? And now they're coming. We saw the changes. We went to Everton and he only sat in the stands, Arteta, didn't he? And we saw the improvements, and it's built. And the first half, the first hour against Man United actually was wonderful. So what a great time to come back. And we'll all get on board behind Arteta now, I'm sure, and we're away, you know. And it's great to see. Like, we've been so frustrated with Ozil and Xhaka, and I could name a few more, because we've known they're capable of better. That's why I've been so frustrated with them, because we've known they're not playing to their ability. And the last couple of games, they've took off, haven't they? And they've been right up there. So, yeah, over the moon. Can't wait to tomorrow night's game. Cannot wait.
Absolutely. To be fair to you, Trevor, as well, you've remained positive. When Arteta came, you told me you went to Everton, you said, trust me, Potsy, it's getting better. Bournemouth as well. And then, obviously, Chelsea, we were a little bit unlucky not to get something from it. But Man United, we totally and utterly battered them, didn't we? We were so much better, much the better team.
Oh, by far the better team. And I mean by far the better team. I've got all my in-laws are Man United fans, and they're all very honest people, and they all said to me, wow, they thought the first that Man United were playing poor and they didn't play to their best, but we actually made them look poor. And I'll tell you something that's not been mentioned. Maitland-Niles, he had Rashford in his pocket all night, you know. But
I thought he was superb,
he was wonderful. And Alba and Laka, how much ground have they suddenly started covering? You know, they're all over the park. Yeah, wonderful. Bring on tomorrow. Absolutely. Come on, I want it to be tomorrow now.
Lee, I've got to come to you. Lee, I've got to come to you as well, mate. It has been a lot more positive. Me and you have been on a few podcasts together, really struggling to find any positivity. But the last couple of weeks, it's really improved. And obviously, we don't want to go into the Man United too much because of what I'll be looking for. But I've got to just touch on it quickly, how fantastic the lads were. You know, they were so good. And it was just refreshing to see, weren't it?
Absolutely brilliant from start to finish. I felt that we was unlucky against Chelsea. We played like that against Chelsea, but we needed the second goal against Chelsea and would have beaten them.
Absolutely.
But the atmosphere was great. You know, Arteta certainly has got the players on board, and I'll tell you what he also has. He's got the fans on board as well, because the atmosphere in the Emirates was fantastic. I know that he's playing Man United, but I also have got to say this: Man United. I've watched Man United the last few weeks. They've produced some good performances. They beat Spurs. They've done well, and all of a sudden they come to us and they looked ordinary. And instead of everybody saying, which a lot of people do, get on the bandwagon and say, "Oh, Man United are poor," we made them look poor that day. And I'd rather look at all the pluses that we've done. And certainly with Arteta at this moment in time, you know, that for me, when he became the manager, I was certainly sitting on the fence more in hope that he's going to do well. But from his first press conference, he talked fantastically well, got me on side that, and he's backed it up with a couple of really good performances now. as good as this game's
Well
gonna
said,
be,
brother. Well said. Brilliant.
as good as this game is tomorrow, I'm looking forward to Palace because I think that'd be a real test for us going away from home. But at this moment in time, 2 clean sheets we've had. We haven't seen. It's like London buses. We haven't seen them for, and all of a sudden they're coming, like So
Mate, it's
great.
been brilliant.
And it's like the FA Cup now is a completely one-off thing with no pressure of points and all that. I'm really looking forward to it,
Yeah, listen, absolutely. I love the FA Cup. I'm glad it's back. Everyone says it gets in the way and it's a competition that's not really seen as an important one anymore. But Chris, coming to you, FA Cup, you must have been looking at the draw. What was you thinking when Leeds drew Arsenal at the Emirates?
Yeah, it's a good day out, isn't it? That's the thing. Nice stadium and where we're going to be next year, hopefully. You know what I mean? Week in, week out. So
I hope you are, because
so.
listen, you're a massive club, and there's been a lot of ups and downs for you boys over the last probably 15 years or so, really. But you've always kind of been there or thereabouts. But what do you think of the FA Cup run? Is it something that you're not really too bothered about, or is it something that you want to obviously get yourself sorted for the playoffs, or do you just go out and got nothing to lose?
Everybody's bothered about it. If you lose, that's making mouth tough and you're not bothered. No, it's FA Cup at the end of the day. If you're on a good run, get there. That's what it's about. And it's football at the end of the day. You want to go out to win. So no matter what, all right, it's a bit bigger than, League Cup, but still, it's FA Cup at the end of the day, innit? You want that run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Break away from league as well,
Yeah, absolutely. Mate, I've got to talk to you about your manager, because a lot of people are praising him, not just Leeds fans. A lot of people are in the Premier League saying how great he's been. What's the sense around Leeds at the moment in terms of your manager?
Buzzing. The last 2 seasons, even before Bielsa came, but 3 seasons, but especially since Bielsa's been there. You can't get parked, you can't get a burger, you can't get a pint. Everything's just gone bonkers. It's the most important.
Oh, no. Can they still get their pigeons, lad?
Trev, we're going to need an interpreter, aren't we? Is that what it is?
Yeah. What's he said so far? I've not got anything. I'm Google translating it as we go.
That says fish and chips and carpets just got expensive in Skegness.
Hey. Excellent. I love it. Listen, you are playing well in the league, so it's not going to be an easy fixture for Arsenal. But you said before that Marco Bielsa has kind of named the Leeds 11. Is that right? Could you take us through that team then, just to let us know who's going to be playing tomorrow night?
Yeah, we've got a young kid in goal tomorrow, French under-19 international, but it's his debut. So, we haven't seen much of him. So he's starting tomorrow. We've got another kid from the under-23s, Robbie Gotts. He made a couple of sub-appearances, I think, but he'll be starting midfield. Again, don't know much about him. Then we've got Barry Douglas coming back in at left-back. He hasn't done much. Got Berardi starting at centre-back. He'll get sent off, guaranteed. I love Berardi. He plays with his heart on his sleeve. He's a good lad. So, 4 or 5 changes tomorrow, what he's mentioned already. So,
okay.
You said Berardi. Did you say Berardi? Is
Berardi.
that the son of the lad that used to play?
Yeah.
You didn't say. What did you say?
Berardi.
See, I can't understand what he's saying. Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Chris. We can, you know what I mean? So,
Chris, he's winding you up, mate. He's winding you up.
do you know what, though? It's a great thing that I think, from Leeds' point of view, I don't know how Chris feels about it, but he's told in the team so the fans know if they're going to travel, that that they're going to do. I think that other teams should follow suit in that. You know what I mean? And say, well, this is what we're going to play.
Sorry, he told us after we bought the tickets.
Oh right, yeah, that's true. But it's refreshing, isn't it? It's refreshing. It's I think from I've got one of my mates, Kevin's a Leeds fan, and he was saying that he feels that Leeds. This was about 2 weeks ago when the draw, whenever it was made, he turned around and said, "Oh, we'll take a squad down there because it is more important that they get to the Premier League." And I think that the one thing that they don't want, these Leeds fans, is getting there again and then tiring towards the end of the season. So I think that at the end of it, maybe that Leeds, and I'm also hoping it as well, that Leeds are going to not take this too serious tomorrow because they've got bigger fish to fry. And I think that is probably the case. But for if you speak, I don't know, speak to Chris and that, what do they want? They want to get back in the Premier League, and I'm rooting that they do as well.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah,
I think that it's gonna be tough. Listen, the Championship, anyone can go up and anyone can go down, can't they? But Leeds are on a great run, and I'm hoping they put all their eggs in the basket to get back up to the Premier League. Because if you said to them now, would you like to be in the Premier League or beat Arsenal, they'd all say they want to be in the Premier League 100%. Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
absolutely.
But,
Chris,
then I watched Liverpool play Sheffield United the other night, and Liverpool had 600 more passes than Sheffield United, and the promised land maybe not all that good. I'd rather play West Brom off at Park. I don't know.
Listen, I'll tell you what, Sheffield United have done fantastically well, but I think that once Leeds get up there, they'll have some backing as well, and without a doubt, whenever Leeds play, going back into the old days, and Trev remembers in the 70s as well, they always had tremendous support, Liverpool, Leeds. And
tremendous support and a tremendous side league.
Yes. And they've gone through some
horrible, hard men they were.
Yeah, they're dirty Leeds United,
Yeah. But I hope you get back in the Premier League, Chris. I genuinely do, mate. I love it. Leeds are too big a club to be down there for too long. Yeah. And if it means dropping out the FA Cup, then I'd take that if I was a Leeds fan, if it meant I was playing Premier League football. And you mentioned Sheffield United, mate. Don't forget that, Sheffield United may have been played off the park a little bit with a passing game by Liverpool, but they still ain't doing bad in the league, mate. Sheffield United.
They're not at all. They're really not. Yeah. They've done really well. Yeah. Chris, I've got to come to a couple of players that are just from personal, for me, that I think can cause a nuisance. Patrick Bamford is obviously one of them. I think as well, the young, is it Costa up front you've got? He's not... The lad from Wolves. But also the one lad I wanted to ask you a question about, really, because I don't know much about him, but all I keep hearing is that he's going to be an absolute star, and that's Calvin Phillips. He's kind of a holding midfielder, I think, for you boys. What can you tell me about this lad?
3 years ago, he was useless.
All right.
He was playing as number 10. It was hard work to watch. Now, Bielsa started him sort of just in front of the defence, sort of holding midfielding role. And he's brilliant. He wins every tackle. He spreads the ball about. He's the Ox Perlo. He is class. Yeah, he's good lad.
Wow.
Yeah. He's lovely off the pitch as well. We, me checking to go see players after the game, and been to a few end of year awards and stuff like that. He's always got time for kids, shaking their hands. He's not big time Charlie. He's got a lot of time for everybody. Shakes people's hands and doesn't take a lot, does it? But yeah, it's good.
No.
Good lad.
It doesn't. I've got to put this comment on. I've got to put this comment on from Archie. He says they want 40 million for Phillips. It can't be right. What do you make? Is that true? 40 million pounds? Is that how good he is?
If Maguire's worth 80 million, Phillips is worth 160.
Wow!
Great answer. Great answer. Sort of player that I think we could do with, though, to be fair. Young English lad, defensive midfield, sometimes a little bit of fight. Trev, come to you, mate. It's what does the FA Cup mean to you, mate?
Well, the FA Cup, Lee just mentioned the 70s. The FA Cup gives me my first memories of Arsenal, because 1971 was the first. I don't remember the Fairs Cup from the year before. It was. I don't know why I don't remember it, but the following year, 71, I can remember sitting watching the cup final with my dad on the telly when Charlie George scored, and that was the start of it all for me. So, and the FA Cup's been wonderful. And don't forget, during the late 70s and early 80s, it was the only outlet we had. 78, 79, and 80. We got three. Unfortunately, we lost two of those three finals. But it was the only outlet we had in which was a very barren period for our football club, So the FA Cup, it's people say it's dying. I think Chris mentioned it earlier, but please don't let it die. It's a wonderful competition, and it gives us games like tomorrow. Gives us games like tomorrow, which we're all looking. Two big clubs playing against each other, yeah. And don't forget, next year is 50 years since the Charlie George goal and the double at 71. Next year's 50 years. So I'm praying and hoping the Arsenal Football Club do something special. I'm drifting a bit now. I do apologise, Dan.
No, I think you're right.
Chelsea done it today, didn't they? Chelsea wore that kit of when they won it, because it's 50 years for them, isn't it? And I don't know if you noticed it today. Chelsea played in the the kit that they won the FA Cup in. I think Arsenal should do something like that, a kit for that, even if it's just the FA Cup. But we won the double, not like them that only won the FA Cup. So I'd like to see a kit very, very similar to that being the next kit.
Yeah,
I think that would be a great shout. Personally, I was going to mention about a kit. So
Well,
Lee,
hang on.
go on, Chris.
If you have done next year, we can have one year after because we.
Yeah. All right, Chris.
Well,
you can have it. You can have it in 72.
We're 71 to 80, I noticed it.
But you didn't do the double though, did you, Chris?
Lee, coming to you. We've got quite a few injuries, mate. To be fair, particularly at the back. What sort of team are you expecting us to put out tomorrow night, Lee?
Well, not a strong, not the team that played against Man United. I think Martinez will come in goal. I don't know if Bellerin's fit or whatever, but if he is, I'd play him there. Sacco at left back. Mavropapadopoulos and Holding. Give them some games at the back. That'd be my four. Midfield, I think Guendouzi will play, and obviously Ceballos will get some sort of minutes because he's back now. So that'd be still quite strong. Hopefully Martinelli will be back as well. I think he's back in training, so I'd like to see him play. But I think. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I want us to do really well in this competition, so I would expect to see a few of the big guns on the bench if things are not going right, and I think that's the way that it should be done. But the thing is with me, we've got a little bit of momentum going now, and I think we need to continue that. I don't think we need any negatives at the moment. So it'd be interesting to see what's team back. But I think that probably both managers have had a little gentleman's agreement that we won't play our top squads, you know what I mean? So, but listen, we're at home. You've got to fancy us because we are at home. If it was the other way around, but I don't like. We've had some great games with Leeds over FA Cup ties over the past. Chris was saying about the one in 72. I don't remember that one, by the way, but I do. I've seen it on the telly and that, and I've remember the games when Paul Merson scored when Leeds went 2-0 up. I don't know if you remember it.
About three replays on there.
And then going back in the late 80s, you remember when Graham Ricks got a last minute? Leeds scored in the 92nd minute, and then Graham Ricks scored in the 93rd minute. Back in the 80s, I think we played in our green kit that night, if I remember rightly. So some real battles with Leeds over the times, and so I'm really looking forward to. I think this be a good game, and as I say, I think we've got to be sensible. We've got some real tough games coming up over this next few weeks as well, on top of all the games over Christmas. So I think that as I noticed to see all the big top teams have been resting their players, like Liverpool today. The only team that's gone full strength is that team down the road because they're desperate. And I love it. But everybody else made loads and loads of changes, but desperados, pot hunting they're gone, so I think there will be lots of changes.
And who said we wanted Jose Mourinho, eh? There we go.
When you can get Michael Arteta. I'll tell you one thing quickly about that. Talking to a few of the Spurs boys at football today, they're worried. They've turned around and said, "Oh my God, the improvement of Arsenal's unreal." We said, we've got Arteta, and there's been slight improvement, but he says, a couple of them were saying today, since he took over, there's been improvement. So, that'd be great. And I also think it'd be interesting tomorrow as well to see. I think we've definitely, like as Trevor touched on it, O's always become certainly better. Shaka's. Let's see what the youngsters can do now. Certainly another player that's been fantastic is Maitland-Niles since he's come back into the team.
Yeah.
So, if Arteta's having that effect, can he have it on Ceballos? Can he have it on Guendouzi? Can he have it on a few of the other younger players coming through? That'd be interesting to see as well.
Yeah, I think so. Trev, moving on to these young players that we hope Arteta can start to manage the coach. You look at Smith Rowe, Reece Nelson, Saka, Martinelli. Does it kind of excite you with these youngsters coming through now, Trev?
Well, of course it excites me. Yeah, it's an interesting point, isn't it? Because we've not seen the youngsters play under Arteta yet, and if the youngsters show as much positivity and improvement as our senior players have, then we're in a good place, aren't we? We're in a really good place. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Like Lee says, hopefully we'll have a nice mixture. Be nice to see Martinelli play. Martinez will be in goal. I think we'll probably have Holding and Mustafi at centre back.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Yeah,
and then Saka on one side and maybe Bellerin. I don't know, but yeah, I'm excited about it. It's and Lee's exactly right. We stick a few top guns on the bench and let's see how we go. I wouldn't be surprised if Pepe doesn't start tomorrow. To be honest,
I was going to ask you that.
The more game time he gets, the better I've seen him play. The more he's coming into it. So yeah, I'd like to see Pepe start and get some good game time in. So it'll be a mixture. I like Smith Rowe, I do like Smith Rowe. I saw him in the pre-season game at Boreham Wood, the start of last season, and I thought, Jesus, he's a big fella for a young kid, and hopefully he'll start improving and all will be good. I wonder if I don't think Nketiah won't get a look in. What did you think? Will he
one of my questions. One of my questions, but I think he's just come back, and I'm not sure that he will be involved. I think they're trying to find him another club to be loaned out at now. That's my understanding. Is they're looking at people like Brentford, Bristol City. There's quite a few Championship clubs that are after him. Chris, I'll come to you on that point, seeing as Trev's brought it up. What happened with Eddie Nketiah? Because obviously we were a big fan of him. We were really hoping he was going to get game time. Was it just that Bamford and Costa were too good and he couldn't get a look in, or?
Yeah, it was just Bamford, really. Bamford, Bielsa sticks with his team and, he won't change it. It looked good when it come on, but Bamford did as well, and he started against West Brom New Year's Day. And, yeah, sheepish she looked. And then half-time, we brought Bamford on. Bamford changed the game.
Okay.
But he's finishing. Yeah, he's I'd like to kept him for season. Because, it was that other option to bring on if you're getting beat, I think he's on a pair of them have only played a couple of times, So, but yeah, good lad. And after the game at West Brom, he came to the away fans and, said his goodbyes. And that's when you knew we were going, But I don't think he'll play for tomorrow because I think you can only play for 2 clubs in a season. So, obviously, look along.
You're right. That's a great point. Yeah. Great point, that is, because they are going to try and find him another club. So,
yeah, I think Bristol mentioned. But Bristol mentioned before it came to Leeds, it was between us and them.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, I like the lad, and I hope he does do well on loan. I want to see all of our youngsters do well, to be fair, and we've got to try and go for that. Chris, if it was we wasn't playing youngsters, and you look at the Arsenal lineup, who worries you? Who do you think can cause Leeds problems if they do start, whether they're senior players or youngsters?
I think Pepe's got to be the one, and he's coming in now and starting playing a bit better. Ozil's different player to what he was 3 weeks ago. He can change the game. He's brilliant, isn't he? Let's be right, but 3 weeks ago, he wasn't that same player where he was last season, not season before. Yeah, you big guns are always going to be there, like I said, you pay top dollar for him, don't you? What's the kid called who's come back from injury?
Martinelli, yeah.
Again, when I've seen him play, probably just Carling Cup games I've probably watched him more in than league, but yeah, it's different gravy, isn't it?
Yeah, he's exciting. I've got to say that he's exciting. He excites me. I don't know what Trev thinks, but he does excite me, Martinelli.
Is he the one that excites you the most, Trev? Yeah.
You what, mate? Say that again.
In Martinelli, is he the one the main one that excites you the most out of all of our youngsters? I know we've got a few players playing well, like you mentioned, Maitland-Niles, and even Joe Willock and Guendouzi and Nelson have all come on and done sort of a job. But is he the one that excites you the most, Martinelli?
Yeah, Martinelli. He's got this mannerism about him, and he seems to have this little bit of cockiness about him, and he struts about a bit, and he's got. I think he's got it in his head that he's a good player. He's only a young kid. Martinelli excites me greatly, actually. Martinelli, I don't want to lose him, don't get me wrong, but Martinelli sort of lets me rest a little bit easier with these rumours of Aubameyang going on his way. I hope Aubameyang don't go on his way. I hope he stays because he's our top goal scorer and he's our main man. But I think in Martinelli, we've got the future already within the club, I'm sure we have, actually.
Yeah, no, I think we've got a great player there. I do agree. So who do you feel can cause us problems, Lee, tomorrow from Leeds? Do you I mean, they're no mugs, are they? You know, they're going to come here with nothing to lose. They're going to want to try and prove themselves. Is there any players that you look at and think, oh, he's going to be a real handful?
Well, I think that, if Bamford was playing, I think that he would cause the same, because he's a sort of player that Arsenal defenders, well, any centre forward really, but he's sort of the one that would cause us a few problems. But I think with Leeds, I think that what the worry for me is with these players, there's going to be players in that squad that want to prove to the manager that they're good enough to contribute in the league season and also for the future, and there is also that saying that, sometimes as you're playing your game's not, as a youngster, maybe not suited to the Championship because it's a big, powerful league, and then when you play in the Premier League, you can adjust a little bit better. And so they're coming up against a Premiership opposition, and they want to prove themselves. And I always think that's a danger. That with youngsters, they want to prove themselves and prove that they should be in the maybe not going into the team this season, but certainly for the future as a Premier League club, which I'm sure that Leeds will be next season. So listen, I don't think it'll be an easy game. I think look at Middlesbrough today. They're down the bottom half of the Championship, and I was impressed with them. So what?
But they were playing a pile of crap, Lee.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true. But I've watched quite a lot of the Championship this season because of Stoke, with Kevin's boy playing for them, and also West Brom look a very, very good side. Leeds, so I'll tell you what, whoever comes up this season is going to make the Premier League very, very strong next season. So let's not take this game for granted. I think I'm pretty sure Arteta will make sure that we don't. But I think that I don't think it'd be an easy game. At the end of the day, if we win 1-0 or 2-1 and scrape through, I'll be happy with that. It's just about getting into the next round, because I feel that this is going to be no easy game, as it hasn't been for Leeds in the last couple of times that we played them in the FA Cup as well.
Well, we'll come to that because. Yeah, I was just going to say, we'll come to that because behind me, you've obviously seen the picture I've got on my canvas of Thierry Henry when he did come back. The King returned and scored that goal against Leeds to make it 1-0. That for me was probably one of the most special nights we've had at the Emirates in the 12 years that we've been there, just for the fact it was written in the stars. We kind of knew or was hoping and praying it was going to happen. And when it did, I've never celebrated so much. I think the only other time I've celebrated so much is when Sol Campbell scored in the Champions League final, I think. Apart from that was right up there with me just because of the importance of it, and it was just so great to see one of his first touches go in. Trev, do you think we should go all out to try and win the FA Cup this year, mate?
Yeah, without a doubt, because it means a day out of Wembley at the end of the season, and you can't beat a day out of Wembley. But of course, we should go out to win it. It's an important competition, and it's still pressing. So of course we want to win it. And we want to reach the final, and we want to beat Tottenham in the final 4-0, and then for the next 2 years we can all gloat all over it, But we must try and win this FA Cup. We're in it to win it. We should be in it to win it, and we'll put a good enough side out to win tomorrow. I know Leeds are a good side, and they've got a lot of fans coming tomorrow night. Leeds is it 8,000, Chris? They've got coming tomorrow.
That's just in the away.
So that they're going to be lifted by their fans. Yeah. It's only an away corner, 8,000 at Arsenal, Chris. We're a bigger ground than Leeds, mate. We get a lot more fans. But it's we should go all out to win it. And I'm just gutted. I'm absolutely gutted that we're going to batter Leeds tomorrow night. I'm gutted because I'd love us to draw, then have an away day at Leeds to win the replay, because I love an away day at Leeds. It's fantastic. So I'm a bit gutted because we're going to batter them tomorrow and we won't get that. So, yeah.
See it
we need to win it.
It's noisier than Emirates. You'll be able to hear it.
I must agree. I love the FA Cup, and I've had great memories I'm only 32, but I've had great memories of us winning the FA Cups that we have of recent years, and it's just been great going up at Wembley. So I'm totally with you. But Chris, I've got a question from you from Tony Flowers. Can I ask Leeds fan Chris, do you guys always play a consistent team in every competition, or do you kind of rotate and mix it up? I'd probably suggest from the team news that you do rotate a bit. Is that right?
Yeah, they're still gonna play the same way football. Even down to under 23s, they still play the same tactics. He wants them playing that way, does Bielsa, and it's his crowd what he's got in. Whoever gets replaced, we'll still play like for like. We'll still play the same game. So I don't think we've not to be shy about. We're not going to come there and defend, and it'll be nice for us to play against somebody who's going to come and try and attack us as well, because a lot of teams don't do that in the Championship. You know, we go away from home, people are happy with a point. You know, against us. West Brom tried first half, but second half we should have really nicked it. To be honest, it's nice. Them games are always that little bit better for us. You know, the amount of times I've seen Ellen Road, someone goes 1-0 up against us, and they're pulling the socks up and having a drink and water breaks, heading constant, like, you know. So yeah, be nice to. I think it'd be a good game. I think it'll flow tomorrow. We're not going to come and sit back. We're team. What it's saying, we're going to go for it tomorrow. He don't want to play Arsenal on Tuesday night in mid-January. He wants that week off to rest the players, and we've got injuries same as you boys. We've got, Pablo Hernandez is out, Forshaw's out, Tyler Roberts in and out of the team at the minute because of injuries. So yeah, we've got 4 or 5 decent players who are going to come back as well. I think pretty much we'll stick same tactics and just change the names on the sheet, really.
Okay, so Chris, I'm going to give you a scenario. You're gonna go up this year. I believe you personally will. So let's just say you're in the Premier League. You can have any Arsenal player that you want. Who are you picking?
Got a bit like that, isn't it?
Not Mustafi.
Nah.
You go with Lacazette, would you?
Yeah. Can I be greedy for Aubameyang as well?
If you had to pick one, would you go for Lacazette or Aubameyang? That's a good question. Who would you go for?
I don't know. I'd go Lacazette. Stick with first choice.
Okay, mate.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Every time I see he's got a bit more about his game than Aubameyang.
Fair enough.
Probably gets on score sheet a little bit more, doesn't it? But
yeah. No, Aubameyang scores more goals. I think Lacazette works a lot harder. I think everyone would probably agree with that. Although Aubameyang's tracking back lately has been fantastic. He really has. I'm going to go with Calvin Phillips, I think, because everyone tells me great stuff about these lads. I don't think there's anyone else that sticks out in that position for me. You probably would be able to put both of your centre-backs ahead of ours at times this season, but let's hope that we're improved now. Lee, Trev, does anyone want to jump in with any Leeds players they like the look of or would like the look of at Arsenal?
No, I don't know any of them, mate. Wouldn't have a clue. So,
listen, there's always one. Spurs have just nicked the lad Clark, haven't they, from Leeds? You know what I mean? So there's going to be one or two that that are going to come through next year, and you go, "Whoa, I would have liked to have had him," and everything like that. But at this moment in time, if they've got if their central defenders are any good, then I'll take them. So because I think even in the Championship, you've got to have that battle hardness, and that's something that a good centre half, I think, that needs to have that sort of grounding before playing in the Premier League. But it'd be interesting. Eddie didn't really get a game there, so that just shows you that the quality that they've got. Because I think that he is a player that we feel that could have a future at Arsenal. So it just shows you how strong that Leeds are, and what is also a worrying thing from our point of view is that they're consistent. They're consistently turning over results week in, week out. So he's got them playing. As Chris says there, he's got them playing to a system with who's ever in that team. So I don't think it's going to be an easy game tomorrow. Even if we played the Aubameyangs and Lacazettes and all that, I still don't think it'll be an easy game. That's my personal opinion. Chris
Archie says that we need cover for Torreira, so Calvin Phillips for 20 million, and you can have Mustafi for free. A fair deal. How do you think of that?
160, I said.
160. That's right. Alex,
just going back to centre backs. Our centre back here is on loan from Brighton. Ben White. We've got to buy him. He is quality. I thought we missed Janssen after selling him last year. Sold Janssen to Brentford for peanuts, really.
Yeah, didn't you?
I thought we'd really struggle. He's been different class. He's so good, so comfortable on ball. Apparently Liverpool looking at him, and if Liverpool were flying out in a minute, if they put him at side of Van Dijk, they're not going to concede a goal ever again.
Wow.
This is as good as that. Yeah, keep out for him tomorrow. Probably the kick, but yeah, he's played really well.
Wow. Fair enough. Alex, who sits behind me. Hello, Alex. Thanks for watching, mate. Remember the 1-1 at Emirates when Cesc Fabregas scored? The Leeds fans, unbelievable that day. Great support. I think you will be tomorrow night as well. I've got to be looking forward to it, I must admit. Trev, score prediction tomorrow night, mate. What are you going for?
I think we'll probably win. Well, it's hard to say until we see the team. But if we don't win by 2 clear goals, I will be disappointed. Because I think if we do win by 2 clear goals, we'll have beaten a good side. So I'm going to go 3-1, mate. 3-1.
3-1. Lee Judges, what are you going for tomorrow night, mate?
I feel it'd be a tough, as I say, tough game. So, but I feel that Arsenal will probably just have a little bit too much for them at the end of the day. So I'm going to go 2-0.
Chris?
4-0 probably. Bamford hat-trick and then Costa match. Nah, I'd settle Scruffy 1-0.
Good lad.
I think it'll be a good game tomorrow. It's going to be a good game after the football, you know.
Yeah, I think.
Absolutely. I'm going to agree with Mr. Lee Judges and go for a 2-0 Arsenal win. I don't know why I think we're going to keep a clean sheet. That could be foolish of me, but I just fancy 2-0 tomorrow night. So that's what I'm going for. Boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks you all for coming on. Chris, I know it's never, and Sam, I know it's never easy coming on another Opposition Fans podcast, and we do really appreciate you coming on, mate. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
If we ever get to the stage next season where you do come up, because I'm sure you will, then jump on our preview show again, mate.
When we get on it, you mean?
Yeah, when?
Absolutely. When?
You're coming on. You're definitely coming on.
Yeah.
You can come on. You can come on next time for the match previews when we play next season. How's that?
Yeah, spot on. Look forward to it. Yeah.
Good stuff. Thanks very much, boys.
Cheers, Chris. Nice
Trev.
one, mate.
Old man Trev, thank you, mate. It's been a pleasure to have you on again, mate. I'm so glad that you're back at games, and I will see you tomorrow night, mate.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, mate. Yeah, let me know where you are.
You might not hear you, but he'll see you.
Absolutely. You won't hear me, but you'll see me.
I'm starting to lose my sound a bit here, boys. I don't know if you can still hear me. I think it's all this Yorkshire accent has knocked the speaker out of me.
Not till tomorrow. We'll knock it out of you tomorrow.
Chris, if I don't, obviously I won't catch up with you tomorrow, but I'll pop me fish and chips before I go back, mate, and we'll have a catch. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, have a beer, mate. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Lee, likewise, thank you very much, mate, for coming on yet again.
Appreciate it.
Good man. And I might see you tomorrow if you're about. I don't know if you're joining us or friends upstairs in club level again, are you? Or?
Well, I can't say.
Oh, here we go. All right, mate. Good man. Listen, same old Arsenal will be back on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock or 7:30, I believe. So we will see you then. That'll be myself, Lee, Craig, Harry, and Graham all be back on Tuesday night. So we will see you then. Thank you very much for listening. Hopefully we get a win tomorrow night and we get through to the next round of the FA Cup. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you soon, guys. Up the Arsenal.
Cheers. Up the Arsenal.